Rancho Cucamonga and Edison, which is also a good one right now with Rancho Cucamonga up 14-7, and it's now third down from the 9-yard line for Upland, looking to break that 14-14 tie against the Los Alamitos.
All right, let's jump to Division 4. Santa Barbara, the Dons against St. Paul, the Swordsmen. Love the mascots there. 10-7, Santa Barbara in Division 4. As far as we have the score, we appreciate everybody across the section providing live scores. It's helping us keep track of all these big time games going around the southern section as we're in round one. The Division 1 playoffs obviously don't start until next week. All those teams are off. Corona Centennial's coach Matt Logan on Max Prep SoCal, which airs every Wednesday on CBS in Los Angeles streaming. He was on with us on Wednesday, and he actually said, I would prefer that we didn't have the week off and we go right into it, but all the teams in Division 1 are off. They'll get up and cranking next week, and you betcha we're going to see a lot of good football coming up in Division 1, but we have a lot of good football going on right now, Thomas.
Yep, and in Division 2, in the Long Beach Poly Vista Marietta game, Vista Marietta sophomore defensive back Malachi Sales just returned an interception for a touchdown, and that gives Vista Marietta a 14-7 lead. And the Upland Los Alamitos game, which is tied 14-14, the first quarter has come to an end, and it's going to be third down when that game resumes.
All right, thanks, Thomas. West Covina and Paloma Valley. We're going all the way to Division 2. West Covina, the Bulldogs, up in that game 9-0 per our live score out of that game. So we're bouncing around all divisions, as many divisions as we can. There's also a couple games, at least one game last night, Thomas, that went final. What was the score in that game, and who potentially would get the winner of that game?
Yes, Steve. Aquinas, they beat Foothill, and in a very close game seating-wise. Aquinas, the number 71 team in the section, and Foothill, the number 70 team. So just one spot apart. And Aquinas, they'll face the winner of Newberry Park, which has quarterback Brady Smigel, and Ventura. And Aquinas, they're led by junior Jojo Solis. He's headed to Cal, and just a junior, has over 5,700 combined yards between rushing and receiving, 79 touchdowns. He's just made an impact since his freshman season, and whoever wins that Newberry Park Ventura game is gonna have a great battle against Aquinas, and that's gonna be next Friday night, November 10th.
All right. Let's go to Division 9. Mike Leonard, our live scorer for the Kaiser Cats, is doing a good job scoring the game live as they play Dominguez, the Dons. Dominguez, a big-time basketball school, a power over the years, but the Dons right now in football, they're up 14-7. Dominguez with the rushing TD to get that one, get the Dons up in front, 14-7 in that ball game. Let's go to Division 7. El Dorado, the Golden Hawks, and Laguna Beach, the Breakers. That game is Division 7. El Dorado 14-7 after a rushing touchdown by the Hawks to give them a lead. How about we go and we bounce around? We're going to Division 12. Don Lugo, the Conquistadors, and Santa Paula, the Cardinals, 14-14 in that game. I love it. These games are close as Isaiah Mata, 23-yard touchdown rush for Santa Paula to give that game a 14-14 score. Checking back in to Division 2, Murrieta Valley and Damien. Murrieta Valley up 14-13. Let's take a listen into this game.
Running play, so we're going to have Hose will run and pick up a gain of 2 on the play, bring up second down and 8. Actually, going to give him 3. up to the Nighthawk 43-yard line. So yes, it'll be second down and 7.
All right, we'll check back into that game. We'll keep an eye on that one. If it gets close, we'll go back to that game to let you listen in to how that one's going down. But currently, Marietta Valley with a 1-point lead as we're ticking about 9:40 remaining in the first half. Here's a game we have not hit on yet, but this is a big one. Servite, the Friars, and Valencia. Servite, they go up 12-0. Servite's a very tough team, and they're in the Division II bracket. That's one of those teams that you just they could be in Division One. They're in Division Two, and it just shows you how loaded that bracket is. Leo Hannon, a 10-yard pass completed to Aiden O'Callahan for the TD to give the Friars the 12-0 lead. Servite with their bagpipes as they walk on out onto the field, if they still do that. Last time I saw them play was in a state championship game in Southern California. So Servite and Valencia right now, Thomas, the Friars up 12-0.
Yes, Steve, and Servite, just one of the most storied programs in the state, led by Leo Hannon, as you just mentioned. He's the junior quarterback. Uh, more than 10 offers so far, including Arizona, Illinois, and Washington, and he has them up 12-0 right now. And I saw Sarah is up 21-0 too right now. And Sarah, they're facing Bishop Amont up 21-0, and they're just led by a lot of very good players, including on the defensive side of the ball, Dakota Fields. He's a 4-star senior headed to Oregon next year. Sinsar Rainey, a 3-star senior headed to San Jose State. And then Nico Clem, he's a 3-star corner. He's uncommitted right now, but then they also have great players on the offensive side of the ball as well, including Zacharias Williams. He scored the last touchdown for Sarah, and he's a great senior. And the winner of that game will face the winner of Los Alamitos and Upland. And we have a score update there. Upland ended up kicking a field goal, so the Los Alamitos defense held them to 3, and Upland leads it 17-14 in the second quarter.
All right, thanks, Thomas. We're going to jump into the Damien Marietta Valley game as this one's getting close. We got a team right on the goal line.
And he'll be down at it's a 1.5 yard line there, and the handoff will be to Dorian Hose, who gets stood up at the 1. So Benny picks up half a yard, bring up a second down and goal. But Derek Johnson Jr. with the big catch there picks up a gain of 40 on that play. Takes it down to 2. And a handoff to Dorian. And he's going to be down 3rd and goal now.
So it looks like Marietta Valley right now, they are at about the 1-yard line looking to extend their lead on Damien. Can only check in so much with the NFHS network, but I'll get right back to that in a second.
Push is not allowed.
As this is a big game, obviously, and looks like there is going to be a timeout called in that game. So we'll come back to that game. The Nighthawks looking to extend the lead on Damien, the Spartans. It's 14-13 currently in that ball game. So we got a lot of action going across the section. Obviously, as we head to Division 4, Capistrano Valley, the Cougars are up 14-0 on Downey. The Vikings in that one, as a recent pass completion for a touchdown, gives the Cougars a 14-0 lead in that ball game. Checking back in Division 6, checking back in on the Huntington Beach Glendora game. Huntington Beach, the Oilers, they're up 15-7 in that ball game. It looks like the last touchdown was a Tyler Young rushing touchdown to give the Oilers a lead. So we came on right about as teams were going to middle of the first, into the second quarter. A lot of action going on. Catching our breath here, Thomas, but it's been fun. And I know we haven't hit much on D14, but let's do it, Thomas. What do you got? Division 14, you're up.
Yep, Division 14, lots of scoring so far. Artesia is up 26-7 over Temecula Prep. Bell Gardens is up 13-7 over La Puente. Anaheim up 25-20 over Hawthorne, and that's a high scoring affair right there. Bishop Montgomery up 16-7 over El Monte. That one's in the second quarter. The Webb schools are up 13-7 over Linwood. That also in the second quarter. And then Whittier Christian up 13-6 over Duarte in the second quarter. And Brandon Castillo just got Duarte on the board for the first time tonight on an 18-yard rushing touchdown. An extra point was just made by Joaquin Gonzalez. So that game is 13-7 Whittier Christian, and that is the Division 14 scores right now.
Thanks, Thomas. And if you're just joining us, Steve Montoya, Thomas Fry, we're both from Max Preps. We're at the Max Preps headquarters right now, providing you with as many scores and updates as possible. I know we checked in on that Murrieta Valley Damien game, and as we were giving you some scores, the Nighthawks, Camden Connor, punched in a touchdown run. Our live scorer in that game, LeVar Freeman, is doing a great job keeping us updated. Also, the Cub Reporters is very good as well for Damien. So good scoring going on in that one. And the Nighthawks have a 21-13 lead. So we started the show talking about Division II and just how loaded it is. Long Beach Poly and Vista Murrieta. The winner of that game gets the winner of Servite and Valencia. Last we checked in on that Long Beach Poly game, it was 7-7. The Jackrabbits. No, excuse me. We got an actual update as we're speaking right now. And no, this was a different game. Milliken goes up 14-7, so a different game there. But we'll get you the score of that Long Beach Poly game as soon as we can get it. But we're going to bounce around, get some more scores for you. How about Palmdale? The Falcons in Division 11. They're playing Bellflower Buccaneers. Palmdale up 20-8 in that game. So we're bouncing around Salesian and Granite Hills. And Salesian is ahead 13-0. So we'll get you. We'll try to get you each and every division as we can as we're bouncing around. As even the 8-man teams are playing right now in the section. So there's a lot of football going on everywhere across Southern California right now. How about Torrance? They're up 20-0 on Cedarstrom. And Thomas, what do you got?
Yeah, Steve, I got some Division 13 updates for you. Walnut up 14-0 over Silver Valley. Grace up 14-7 over Miller. That game's still in the first quarter. Grace just scored a touchdown. A game from yesterday, Sam Gorgonio beat Bloomington 27-14. St. Monica up 13-0 over Santa Ana Valley. Gary up 14-0 over Montclair. Baldwin Park up 16-0 over Estancia. And Europa Valley up 14-7 over Desert Hot Springs.
All right, thanks, Thomas, on that one. And if we're looking at it right now, it does look like Vista Murrieta has the lead on Long Beach Poly right now, 14-7. We're going to confirm that, but it looks like Vista has taken the lead in that game. So yeah, we have confirmed it. Vista Murrieta 14. Now Long Beach Poly though has kicked a field goal. So it's 14-10 in that game. So I know it's early, but the winner of that game so far right now is Servite's up big, has jumped out to a nice lead over Valencia, and the two winners of those games will play in the second round in Division 2. So good start in that one. All right, how about Covina and Summit? Covina, the Colts, and Summit, the Skyhawks. This is a Division 8 game. And in that one, Covina has the 20-13 lead in that one. All right, keep it going. We'll keep rolling here. Culver City and Ayala. That's a Division 4 game, 27-14. Culver City. And we'll go to Division 12. Yes, Division 12. Victor Valley, the Jackrabbits against Western Christian, the Fighting Lancers. Victor Valley just had an interception after already leading in this game 14-0. Robert Middlebrooks threw a 25-yard touchdown pass to Hezekiah Jenkins for the score. Thomas, what do you got?
Yeah, Steve, in Division 3, it's a very high-scoring game between Warren and Tustin. Warren leads this one 27-13. They just scored a touchdown with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter, and they are led by quarterback Madden Ima Aliava, and he had a touchdown pass to Jalen Ross right there. And one thing I really like about that matchup is Tustin has a great 3-star defensive back that's going against Madden. Madden, he's a 4-star junior quarterback for Warren, and it's Kristen Dunbar Hawkins, the Tustin defensive back. He's committed to UCLA, so one of the best quarterbacks going up against one of the best players in the secondary, and Tustin has the ball now, down by 14 in Division 3, and the winner of that one will face the winner of Oak Hills and Beaumont, and it's just a loaded Division 3 bracket. So many great players. Ryan Pelham, he's at Long Beach Millikan. He's headed to USC. On the offensive line from Oak Hills, you have Paki Finu. He's headed to Washington. Another guy headed to Washington from San Juan Hills, it's Jason Robinson. And then at Etowanda, you have quarterback Demarcus Davis. He's also going to Washington, leading Etowanda right now. Jordan Ross at Warren, he's one of Madden's top receivers. He's headed to Colorado State, and it's just a loaded field from the top to the bottom in Division 3.
All right, thanks, Thomas. We're going to bounce back to Division 2, the Sarah Cavaliers and Bishop Mott. Game we touched on already, but Sarah, they're up 21-7 in that game. The winner of Sarah and Bishop Mott will face the winner of Los Alamitos and Upland. So the Cavaliers have jumped up in front, and it's 21-7 in that ball game going on. All right, let's go now to Bloomington and San Bernardino. San Bernardino with a 16-12 lead in that game. We checked in this one earlier, but we're going back to Division 6. La Habra, the Highlanders, they lead West Ranch 20-14. That's Division 6. And if you're just joining us, appreciate it. Steve Montoya and Thomas Fry, Max Preps. And Thomas and I are at the Max Preps headquarters, bringing you all the scores we got. Thomas, we're going to kick it over to you.
Yep, I got some Division 5 updates. Newbury Park leads Ventura 14-7. Northview and Bonita, they're all tied up 7-7. And Bonita, they have one of the top linebackers in the state in Noah McHale. And that Bonita defense is holding them right now 7-7. El Medina up 10-7 over Thousand Oaks. Apple Valley up 14-10 over Hesperia. Western taking a commanding 28-7 lead over Colony. The second quarter just started over there. And then San Joaquinto up on Liberty 21-14. And those are the Division 5 scores right now. Back to you, Steve.
All right, let's go back to the Murrieta Valley Damien game. That's a good one, as Damien just answered Isaiah Arezia with a 10-yard rushing touchdown, and now it's 21-20 after the Preston Yardo PAT. So the Nighthawks, Murrieta Valley, with a 1-point lead in that game. That definitely a game to watch all night long. Division 6, Ontario Christian, the Knights, with a 23-0 lead right now over the Dolphins, the Dana Hills Dolphins, 23-0. Lucas Steen for Ontario Christian just had an INT right there to stop the drive of the Dolphins. So Ontario Christian is looking pretty good in that one.
Yeah.
Touched on this one. Division 4, Capistrano Valley, 14-7 over Downey. Thomas, what do you got?
In Division 2, Mission Viejo is up 17-7 over the Sea Kings of Palos Verdes, and the winner of that game will face the winner of Chaparral and Oaks Christian. And that game was 14-0 at the end of the first. Chaparral did get a touchdown, but Oaks Christian, who is just loaded, they also got a touchdown. They are up 21-7. Marietta Valley up 21-20 over Damien. That one, just a couple minutes left in the first half, and then Rancho Cucamonga, they're up 21-14 over Edison right now, and they just scored. Edison just scored with under a minute to play before halftime. They were down 21-7, but they hit a long pass and got that one within one score. And they're going to try to hold them on defense right now and head into the locker room down by just one score.
All right, thanks, Thomas. In Division 6, Simi Valley, the Pioneers, they have a 28-13 lead over Rancho Verde. My player to watch this week on Max Prep SoCal on CBS Los Angeles was Dylan Riley of Rancho Verde. He's a big-time Boise State commit, 28 total rushing touchdowns. But right now, it's the Pioneers with the big lead in Division 1. In round 1 of the Division 6 playoffs. So good one there. And speaking of good one, Chino, the Cowboys, and Jordan, the Panthers, the Cowboys, with a 14-7 lead. It looks like right now in Division 7. So we're bouncing around every division as we possibly can. We're also going to check back in or stay in Division 7. El Dorado, the Golden Hawks, still have a 14-7 lead. That one's at the halftime break. Yes, we're already hitting halftime as we approach the 8 p.m. hour. The thing about these games now, there's no JV games before them. They all start pretty much right on time. So we will have a lot of the final scores going on as well.
Yep, and Steve, I've got a couple
Yep.
updates from
Yep.
down in Division 2. Upland, they were up 17-14, but Los Alamitos has scored 2 touchdowns in a row, including a 1-yard touchdown run by Anthony League. So Los Alamitos now leads at 28-17. That game, a couple of minutes left in the first half. And then over to Valencia and Servite. And remember, Servite held a 12-0 lead, and then Valencia scored to make it 12-7. And then almost immediately into that Servite drive, Valencia forced a fumble, and they now have the ball down by just 5, and we'll see what they can do in Division 2. And that winner of that survey game, they will face the winner of Vista Marietta and Long Beach Poly, and Vista Marietta still up 14-10 in that one.
All right. Thanks, Thomas. Staying in Division 2, just looking over at the screen, it looks like the Nighthawks have scored once again. Marietta Valley, it looked like a long 58-yard pass to Camden Connor for the touchdown. So a lot of scoring, high-scoring game there in Division 2. Looks like the PAT is up and it is through. So did he make that? So yeah, it looks like that game is going to be a fun one to watch. Back and forth scoring going on all night long. Let's bounce over to Division 9. South Pasadena, the Tigers are up 20-15 on Los Osos in that game, 20-15. Looks like Zachary Lee, the 34-yard pass completion to James Dowd. The live score for the Tigers, CB Richards. They're providing live scores all night long as South Pasadena has the 20-15 lead. So been a fun game or night already. Steve Montoya and Thomas Fry bringing you the action all night long here. That Long Beach Poly game and Vista Marietta, as Thomas said, 14-10. That one's a good one for sure. And as uh, Thomas, we go through the night, we'll be talking about a lot of the big time players in action tonight. And we talked about this game earlier, and we know this is a loaded team in Newberry Park in terms of just high profile names. And Ventura came out and struck first and actually took the lead 7-0, but it looks like Newberry Park has responded and they now lead 14-7 in that game. Brady Smigel threw his second touchdown pass of the night, this time to Landon Bell. So it's 14-7 in Division 5. Let's go back to Division 3, San Juan Hills, the Stallions going up against St. Francis, the Golden Knights, and it's San Juan Hills. They have a 23-7 lead. A big interception there by San Juan Hills has given them the ball back with the lead. Thomas, let's kick it over to you, and let's go. How about we go to Division 7?
So in Division 7, the Golden Hawks of El Dorado are up 14-7 over Laguna Beach. That game is at halftime. Another game almost at halftime is Redondo Union and Bishop Diego. Redondo Union, the Seahawks, they lead it 13-10, and but Bishop Diego, they were driving, but they just threw an interception with under a minute left. So it looks like that game might go to the halftime with a Redondo Union 13-10 lead. Cilician all over Granite Hills right now, 20-0. That game midway through the second quarter. King over Lakewood, 14-0. That game almost at halftime as King scored a touchdown with under a minute to go. And then Muir and Diamond Ranch, that game's all tied up at 7-7 right now. Muir just punted the ball over to Diamond Ranch. 3 minutes left in the first half. Agora leads Burroughs 14-12. Mayfair leads Village Christian 16-10. Chino is up on Jordan 14-10. I'm sorry, 14-7, and that is all the scores right now for Division 7. And Division 7, they have quite a few recruitable players as well. Long Beach Jordan has Jordan Washington, a 4-star running back. He's a senior, headed to Arizona. Laguna Beach has a tight end, Reiner Swanson. He's going to be going to BYU. And then Laguna Beach quarterback Jackson Collick, just a junior right now, but he's already committed to Washington. And that Division 7 bracket has a lot of great players in it. And also from Muir, not committed yet, is Isaiah Blades. And I'm excited to see how the rest of that game goes. It's 7-7 right now between Muir and Diamond Ranch.
Thanks, Thomas. Let's go back to Division 2. And we talked about Servite having that 12-0 lead, but Valencia has responded, a 10-yard TD pass in that game to make it 7-12. And then there was a fumble by Valencia, got the ball back, but then Servite recovered a fumble. But that game looks to be like it's going to be a little closer than it looked like right out of the gate. But we're still early in a lot of these games, as a lot of games are hitting pretty much halftime. But in that game right now, it looks like there's still plenty of time left in that first half. So a good one going on in there. We're gonna check back in Division 9. We hit on this game earlier. The Dons, Dominguez, and Kaiser. And Kaiser has responded, and it's halftime there, and it's 14-10 in Division 9. We have a bit of a blowout in that's an 8-man game, so we'll give some love to the 8-man as well. CSDR, the Cubs, 35-0 on Southlands Christian. And Thomas, what do you got? How about we hit on a little bit of Division 12? Let's go to D12.
Yep, thanks, Steve. And Division 12, pretty interesting so far. Coachella Valley, they're up 19-7 over South El Monte. Don Lugo, the Conquistadors, they're up 21-14 over Santa Paula. Victor Valley right now, the Jackrabbits, they are all over Western Christian. They're up 21-0. Arroyo up 22-10 over Arrowhead Christian. And then in a very close one, Santa Fe up 7-6 over Rim of the World, the Fighting Scots. Buena Park up on Arroyo Valley 28-12. And that will do it for D12 right there, as most of the games are either at halftime or very close to halftime.
All right, Thomas, we're going to listen into this Damien Murrieta Valley. 35-20, Damien driving.
Flushed out, forced out of bounds by number 50 Troy Card down to the 8-yard line.
So there's 17 seconds remaining in this half, and Murrieta Valley is ahead 35-20. They've responded with a couple unanswered or 14 unanswered points, but this would be
17 seconds remaining.
A big boost for Damien if they can punch this in. 17 seconds remaining in this game. Back and forth shootout, but the Nighthawks have expanded. We'll go back in and listen. 35-20, 17 seconds.
And Rice is going to flush out to his right. Their pass is deflected. Looked like it was deflected, but then was caught in the back of the end zone.
Yes, that was caught in the back of the end zone. So Damien, nice job there, answering real late in the first half. So great job there by Damien to make this a ball game. It's pending the PAT or if they're going to go for two. Right now it's 26-35, and it looks like the offense is going to stay on the field to go for that one. And we'll kick it over to Thomas. I'll come back and let you know what happened on the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, Steve, in Division 4, just a quick update. Tribeca Hills up 21-7 over Newport Harbor at halftime. Tribeca Hills, they were up 14-7, and Newport Harbor was driving, but Josiah Lamarck picked off a pass and returned it 52 yards for a touchdown. So Tribeca Hills leads 21-7 at the halftime in that Division 4 matchup.
All right, thanks, Thomas. Yeah, it looks like the 2-point conversion in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. So that one will be 35-26. Still 11 seconds remaining in the half, but unless some kind of miracle play happens, it looks like it'll be 35-26. Bishop Diego, the Cardinals, and Redondo Union, the Seahawks in Division 7. I believe that that one is 13-10 halftime in that one. The Seahawks are up by 3. How about we'll bounce around, give you, it looks like, Thomas, a lot of games right now going into that halftime break as we speak. In Division 9, Rancho Mirage, the Rattlers, and the Sonora Raiders. The Rattlers are up 20-14. There are about 35 seconds remaining in that first half. And Rancho Mirage, it looked like on the has the ball after a Luis Zaragoza interception in that one. In Division 4, Norte Vista, the Braves, and Loyal Cubs, they're all tied up 7-7. And we may be a little bit repetitive on some of these scores as we just bounce around, but we'll try to get you as much as we can. If you're just joining us, thanks so much. Steve Montoya and Thomas Fry, Max Preps here tonight. And in Division 13, how about some D13 action? St. Monica, the Mariners, they're up 20-0 over the Santa Ana Valley, and that one 20-0. And then we're still, looks like the last update we have right now in that Long Beach Poly Vista Murrieta game is still 14-10. We're going to check in on that one. We're going to dive in a little bit more there, as that one's a good one. Division 13, Grace Lancers 28-15 on the Miller Rebels. And how about Cajon and the Cowboys and Pacifica, the Tritons? And it looks like at halftime, the Cowboys are up 14-10 in Division 3. So, Thomas, what do you got?
Yeah, Steve, in Division 2, some of the teams are really starting to pull away here. Sarah is up 28-14 over Bishop Amat. Los Alamitos has scored again. They are up 35-17 now. And Los Alamitos is just packed with great players, including tight end Devon Mitchell. He's headed to Oklahoma. Over to Mission Viejo and Palos Verdes. Mission Viejo up 24-7. Oaks Christian up 21-7 over Chaparral. And then in just a very high scoring game, Marietta Valley up 35-26 over Damien. And Marietta Valley led by a four-star junior quarterback, Bear Bachmeyer. He has an older brother at Stanford right now, and then an even older brother than that who was Boise State's starting quarterback. He's just a gunslinger, and they've scored 5 touchdowns already. And then Rancho Cucamonga, they're up 21-14 over Edison in a close one. And and then Steve just mentioned Servite over Valencia 20-7 right now, and a lot of these games are either at the half or close to the half.
Yep. Thanks, Thomas. In Division 4, La Serna, the Lancers, they're up 25-7 on Great Oak. And that one's about under a minute to go, according to our scorekeeper there, Scott Wabnitz. And it looks like we're about under a minute in that one. And Great Oak has the ball at their own 48-yard line, trailing 25-7, looking to try to make something happen before halftime and fight their way back into that game. Halftime in Division 12, Arroyo Knights 22, Arrowhead Christian 10. So it's been a fun night already as we continue to give you score updates and maybe even let you listen into some games going on around the southern section. Division 13, the Gary Vikings, Montclair Cavaliers. The Vikings are up 14-8 going in to the halftime break. So some good action going on, and we'll be with you all night long until the games are complete. We're going to check before we go to Thomas to hit on some Division 10 action. We do have an update on the Long Beach Poly game. It looks like there was an injury in that game, as it looks like Long Beach Poly senior receiver Charles Clinton is down right now, and it looks like, according to some reports in that game, it looks like he's pretty banged up. As John Davis, the reporter at that game for the Press Telegram, is reporting that he is surrounded by coaching staff, school admin, and medical personnel. So that doesn't sound too great at that Long Beach Poly game. And Vista Murrieta is leading in that one 14-10. So if and Long Beach Poly has the ball at VM's 43-yard line. So hopefully Charles Clinton is okay, and if we hear anything more, we'll report back on that one. But currently the Jackrabbits are down 4 with 50 seconds to go. Thomas, over to you for D10.
Yeah, thanks, Steven. Yeah, hoping the best for Charles Clinton of Long Beach Poly. For in Division 10, Kennedy is up 14-7 over Crescenta Valley. Xavier Prep is up 7-0 over La Quinta. Paloma Valley trails West Covina 16-8. Beckman up on Capistrano Valley Christian 14-9 in a Patriots Eagles matchup. Elsinore up 30-0 over Bria Olinda. Rancho Christian up 21-17 over Hamet. Redlands up 21-7 over the Titans of San Marino. Torrance up 20-7 over Segerstrom. And all these games, some of these games have started in the third quarter already, and that's actually how Segerstrom scored their touchdown. They were down 20-0, and then they came out firing a 75-yard touchdown, and now they trail by 13 in the second half, and that's the second half start that they needed.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to go back to Division 5, Newberry Park and Ventura. That one's at halftime. And Ventura, this one has been kind of back and forth. Ventura started up with a 7-0 lead. Newberry Park answered with 14 straight. And it looks like in that game, there was a touchdown with under a minute to go in that one. And it was a passing touchdown for Ventura. So that one's a good one in Division 5. Cougars Panthers 14-14 as you go to halftime. And those are the kind of games, as just a general fan of high school football, you love to be at. And that one's a good one. You got good players all over the field and a good game going into halftime. In Division 3, we'll fit on this one, but Inglewood and Chaminade. Inglewood, the Centennials are leading 28-10 in that one. And it looks like the Eagles are trying to score very late in that first half. They have under a minute to play and maybe 2 more plays, according to Charles Malone, the Eagles score reporter there. He actually just put a comment in to say there's 21 seconds left in the game, and Chaminade is trying to make something happen. So thanks for the update, Chris Malone. Love our live score reporters out across the section, providing live updates all night on maxpreps.com. Makes it much easier on Thomas and I as we bounce around these games, trying to give you live updates all night long. And Thomas, we're getting into the fun of it. Feel like we're in the NFL red zone here. Where what does he call that? The witching hour. As wins become wins and losses become losses, or something like that, whatever he says. But we're starting to approach some fun time here as we hit halftime, and some games, like you said, even heading into the third quarter.
Yep, Steven. Yeah, we've got over 100 games on the docket tonight, and they're all good ones. And I believe that none of the games have the same team name facing off against each other, which I was kind of surprised by. But yeah, as these games are heading into the third quarter, lots of close ones, and from the top of the bracket all the way down to the bottom of the bracket, and it should be a great rest of the night.
Yeah, that's for sure. And halftime in Division 12, Santa Fe, the Chiefs, they're up 7-6 over the Fighting Scots, rim of the world. I love it. I think you meant mascots, right? Is that what you mean? There's no 2 mascots playing each other?
Correct.
Yeah, I love some of these mascots across the section. The Fighting Scots against the Chiefs in Division 12. All right, let's go to Division 2. Another game at halftime. Hemet, the Bulldogs, they're trailing Rancho Christian, the Eagles, 21-10. 17. So, as Thomas said, a lot of games going on tonight, and that does not include Division One. Obviously, Division One, all the teams have a bye in Division One right now, and I know a lot of from a national perspective, and um, for us at Max Preps and covering this, we haven't, because Texas and a few other states have yet to hit playoffs yet, but it wouldn't be a surprise if the Division One Southern Section playoff brackets are tabbed by our national football editor Zach Poff as, if not the toughest, it's got to be one up there as one of the toughest playoff brackets in the entire country. So Mater Dei and J. Sarah Catholic will get the winners here, Canyon Santa Margarita. I mean, that's an incredible potential semifinals. And you have St. John Bosco, the number 3 team in the country, San Clemente, and then Corona Centennial Orange Lutheran. That will be kicking off next week. But we're focused on this week and what's going on around the southern section as we bounce over. How about we bounce to Division 6, where this one looks to be all nights. Ontario Christian has extended its lead at halftime, and the reporter has said it's been all night so far tonight. They've generated 375 yards of total offense. So the Knights are putting on a show. So good job there. And Thomas, how about some D11 updates?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. And in D11, Quartz Hill is up 14-7 over Gar. And one player I really like from Quartz Hill, it's Adonis Curry. He is a 4-star cornerback, and it looks like he is helping lock down one of the sides of the field tonight as Quartz Hill is up 14-7 at halftime. And then Linfield Christian is up 25-7 over Hillcrest. That game also at the half. Ramona, a big 42-7 lead at the halftime over San Gorgonio. Palmdale up 28-16 at the half. It looks like the third quarter of that one is about to get underway. In a score from yesterday, Pauley beat Esperanza 27-12, and Pauley, they'll take on the winner of Patriot and Los Altos, and that arguably could be one of the best games of the night. Patriot up 22-21 right now at the half in a wild one so far. Marintha and Cantwell Sacred Heart of Mary, they are tied up 7-7, and Marintha led at tight end by Cal commit Camden Jones. He'll be in the future ACC when Cal moves there. And then the final game in Division 11, Westminster up 7-3 over Sure. And we've got some good ones, and we'll be sure to keep an eye on all these games, especially that Patriot Los Altos game, which is 22-21 at halftime.
All right, thanks, Thomas. And we wanted to check back in with Charles Clinton, the Long Beach Poly wide receiver who's been down, and it doesn't seem like there's been any update. He may even still be uh, down injured right now. We hate to report anything that's wrong. So we're trying to follow some of the actual reporters that are on the ground there. It was John Davis who had that one of the tweets there, and then looking at news for us online, editor Dennis Freeman, he just posted that there's still a stoppage in play in that game because of an injury. So Charles Clinton of Long Beach Poly seems to be down in that one for quite a bit. So hoping everything's okay as the Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits trail Vista Marietta right now 14-10. There was still 50 seconds to go in that game before the half. So wishing the young man Charles Clinton all the best for sure in that game. So we'll continue to provide some scores as we continue through the night. Division 13, Silver Valley, the Trojans And Walnut, the Mustangs, a good one at halftime, 16-14. Um, and I want to check back in to that Servite game because the Servite, they came out hot in that game, but it was Valencia who responded to cut it to it was 12-10, but Servite now up 20-10. Um, Leo Hannon, we mentioned him earlier. He threw another touchdown pass to Aiden O'Callahan, and then they went. That was for a 2-point conversion to make it 20-7, because Leo Hannon actually had a rushing TD to give him the 18-7 lead. And it looks like Valencia's Joseph Monti kicked a 28-yard field goal with about a minute to go in the half. So it's probably going to be a 20-10 game for that one. Great job by Cody Lindblom, the Friars live scoring reporter, to give us the updates there. It's making Thomas and I's job quite a bit easier to get you all live scores, um, as we've been bouncing around all night long. And Thomas, let's go back to talk about just Charles Clinton and hoping he's okay. I mean, he's a big time player for that Long Beach Poly team.
Yeah, Steve, he's one of the top receivers on Long Beach Poly. He's committed to Utah Tech, and he has 7 touchdowns in his career, 2 of them this season, and he ended his junior year by scoring in 4 straight games. He's just a consummate Long Beach Poly player, 6'1", 190. Can also play some defensive back, and just hoping for the best from him at this time right now.
Yeah, definitely. And Long Beach Poly's a very good football team and well coached. And obviously, if you or not obviously, but if you followed the Jackrabbits history, a team kind of like a St. Thomas Aquinas out in Florida, that just has been notorious for producing big time football players throughout their history. A lot of NFL players, if you kind of look up where they're from, a lot of them from Long Beach Poly, a school with a rich history of very good football players to come through that program, and they do a great job over there. And they're a fun team to track and watch and all that. So we'll get you an update as we can in that game. Third quarter, we're gonna in Division III, Cajon and Pacifica, the Cowboys and Tritons. Cowboys are up 14-10. That one just getting underway in the second half, and that's where we are right now in a lot of these games. Outside the games that have had some delays, um, we're in halftime or we're already starting up the third quarter, so we're getting close to that time of night where it gets real interesting from here, no doubt about it. All right, I'm gonna bounce back over to Division 4. We talked about this game, but just checking back in: Loyola, the Cubs, and Norte Vista, the Braves. The Cubs. It sounds like a baseball game. The Cubs up 14-7 over the Braves in that National League baseball game, but that uh, the Cubs, Loyola, 14-7. That one in the third quarter. And in the third quarter, Sean Morris of Loyola had a 5-yard rushing touchdown to start things off. And Mark Hyan with the PAT. So 14-7. We appreciate everybody who's been with us throughout the night or just joined us. Steve Montoya and Thomas Fry, MaxPreps.com. We're at our headquarters right now, and fun night sitting here and following the Southern Section playoffs as it's round 1. And Thomas, would you say there was how many games tonight? A lot, right? Obviously.
Yeah, there's over 100, and Yeah, there's over 100. There's a lot of games. More than 200 teams have taken the field tonight, and yeah, I believe 104 games between yesterday and today, and I believe three of the games were yesterday. So we got 101 games tonight, and yeah, it's been great. And there's so many close games right now that are all starting up in the third quarter, including that Patriot Los Altos game, which is still 22-21 in the third quarter. And Steve, I really wanted to talk about a player in Division 8, LeVar Arrington Jr. of Charter Oak. They trail right now 14-7 in their game, but LeVar Arrington Jr., of course, the son of LeVar Arrington Sr., great player for Washington. They trail right now 14-7 against North, but he is one of the many players in the country, the son of an NFL player. He's a three-star athlete, can play both sides of the ball. 6 sacks this season, and he has offers from Colorado and Washington. He's just a fierce competitor out there on the field, and I'm excited to see what he can do tonight and the rest of his career. He is just a junior.
Yeah, good stuff there for sure, Thomas. And we, and as you're mentioning, games kicking off and good games. There's also a real good game going on in Division Two as well, and that's Rancho Cucamonga and Edison. The looks like Edison, who trails 14-21, just had an interception with about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. So Edison picked off Cucamonga, the Cougars, and they're trailing by 7. That's a game for sure to keep an eye on all night long, as that's a big time game, uh, no doubt about that. And you mentioned LeVar Arrington. Uh, the son, obviously, of LeVar Arrington, and Zach Poff, our national football editor, and put out an article this season about sons who are playing right now that had fathers who played in the NFL. Guys like Jerome Bettis, his son, is out there playing. Uh, you have quite a few guys that have kids playing, and some big time kids. Dia Bell, um, who who's Jean Bell's son. You got Kennedy Urlacher, Brian Urlacher's uh, son. So that's fun note right there, and it's fun to see some of those guys making plays on Friday nights. Right now, and also the Damian Marietta Valley game kicked off, about 10:50 remaining in that game. That's a Division II game, Marietta Valley, with that 35-26 lead. And the last, and just I want to keep going back, so I want to make sure that um, Charles Clinton is okay. So it looks like John Davis, the reporter there on the ground, says the senior receiver Charles Clinton gave the fans a thumbs up as he was taken off the field by the paramedics. So obviously not a good situation, but the fact that the young man gave a thumbs up is a positive sign. It was a 30-plus minute delay in that game, Thomas. So that was a big time delay. Obviously, they're doing everything they can there to be safe. So the game's looks like it's going to start to resume. Players probably need to get almost warmed up a little bit. Vista Marietta up 14-10. So good that he gave the thumbs up there. So we'll check back in on that one all night for sure. All right, Division 4, St. Paul, the Swordsmen, and Santa Barbara, the Dons. They've entered second half play, and Ty Bowers for St. Paul plows one into the end zone, a 1-yard rushing touchdown. And the Swordsmen now have come back in this game after trailing 13-7 in that first half, and have come back to take the lead in Division 4. So Division 4, if you're looking at the bracket in that one, that would be, so the St. Paul and Santa Barbara would play Corona Del Mar in that one. So let's go to Thomas. Thomas, let's see what you got in Division 3.
Yeah, Steve, in Division 3, these games starting up in the second half. San Juan Hills up 23-15 over St. Francis of Canada. And then Lusinger up 7-3 over Citrus Valley in a very close game. Third quarter about to get underway from Lusinger. Pacifica up 17-14 over Cajon. St. Bonaventure scored in this third quarter. They're up 22-13 now over Etowanda, and that could have a great ending there. Looks like DJ Doss scored a rushing touchdown from 53 yards out, and then up by 7, they went for 2, and Max Peters rushed that one in to give St. Bonaventure a 9-point lead. Oak Hills, they're up 19-7 over Beaumont. And the winner of that will face the winner of Warren and Tustin. And when we checked in earlier, it was 27-13, and that game is still 27-13 at the half. Villa Park, they're up 20. Nope, they're tied 21-21 with Long Beach Milliken, and that game just started in the third quarter. Villa Park has the ball on their own 32-yard line. And then Inglewood up 28-10 over Chaminade. And that game is still at the half. And yeah, that one should be a good one. Inglewood has one of my favorite quarterbacks in the entire state. That's Damian Wrightster. He's a 3-star junior headed to UC Davis. And he has Inglewood up by 18 right now. Sentinels over the Eagles, and that is the update for Division 3.
All right, thanks, Thomas. Let's go to Division 11, and we're in third quarter of Palmdale and Bellflower. And as we get into the second half, we have a touchdown from Akita Wormsley Jr., a 2-yard rushing touchdown by Bellflower, and Bellflower has cut this lead a little bit as Palmdale now leads 28-22. So that should be a good one as Bellflower, the Buccaneers, and Palmdale, it's a 6-point game going on there. I want to check back in also in Division 6. I talked about this game earlier as Simi Valley was up by quite a bit, but Rancho Verde has cut the lead now. It's 28-20, Simi Valley and Rancho Verde. And in that one, the winner would play either Hart or Korean Lutheran. That would be next week. And so that game has become a lot more interesting as it looked like Nehemiah Chenault threw a touchdown pass to Amarian Orange. And then the PAT was good. So 28-20. Remember this game too, Thomas. We talked about this one in Division 2. I'm going to check back into it. It looked like Sarah was running away with this game, I believe. But how about Bishop Amat, the Lancers, 28-14, and they have the ball right there. Because remember in that game, at one point it was 28-7 was the score. I think that was the score heading in to late into the second quarter. But at halftime, they trimmed it to 28-14, and now Bishop Amat has the ball right about Sarah's 48-yard line. So that's a check in there. And Thomas, what do you got?
Yeah, Steve, very, very close game, like you just said. In that Sarah game, that one could go either way, and the winner will face the winner of Mission Viejo and Palos Verdes. But back to Division 14 now. We got a couple of close games here. And we'll start with Santa Rosa Academy. The Rangers, they're up 8-7 over Rancho Alamitos. And that game looks like it is at halftime. The winner of that game will face the winner of Artesia and Temecula Prep. Artesia pulling away. They are up 34-10 right now. Bell Gardens, they're up 21-13 over La Puente. It was 21-7 at halftime, but La Puente scored to start the half. And then they went for two to try to make it a 6 point game, but that one was stuffed. And La Puente does have the ball right now, down by 8. Ocean View and Bolsa Grande, those teams are all knotted up 14-14. Anaheim and Hawthorne, they are playing a good one, 25-20 Anaheim. Bishop Montgomery and El Monte, that's another very close one. Bishop Montgomery up 30-27. It was 30-21, but El Monte scored to start the half. Then they went for two, and they did not get it. So Bishop Montgomery leads by 3 with the football. Linwood and the Webb Schools, another very close one. It's 20-19. The Webb Schools with the lead. Linwood scored a touchdown, went for the extra point, and they missed it. And that was right at the beginning of the third quarter. So 1 point lead, almost a full half of football to go in that one. And then finally, the final matchup in Division 14, Whittier Christian leading 34-7 over Duarte in the third quarter. And Whittier Christian is moving down the field right now, too. And they're looking to improve on their 27-point lead. But we got a lot of good ones in Division 14 that we'll be checking on the rest of the night.
All right, thanks, Thomas. Yeah, and in Division 7, a bit of a blowout as King, the Wolves, take a 28-0 lead over Lakewood, and it was Joshua Harper who threw a 33-yard touchdown pass to Kaleo Brown, and that one is 28-0 in the D7 playoffs, and the winner will get Granite Hills or Salesian in the next round there. And apologies if we get some school names incorrect tonight, as we got a lot of football games going on. And as I turn my head, I see that Damien has just scored again. And this game is 32
35-33
to 35. We'll listen in and see if the PAT is up and good.
in the game. Sorry, in the third quarter. And the extra point is good.
So, wow, that's a good one right there. And here we go. We got some ball games, and that's a good one. 35-33. Murrieta Valley in front, 6:24 remaining in that ball game. A lot, as we've been talking about that quite a bit, but that's a loaded bracket for sure. Division 6, how about the Huntington Beach Oilers? They have the lead right now, 22-18 over Glendora, and that game is just about to kick off. And we'll get you some D5 scores as well. Thomas, what do you got in D5?
Yeah, in D5 at the top of the bracket, Newbury Park just took a 21-14 lead as Balin Betancourt rushed for a 2-yard touchdown to make it 21-14. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter of that one. And then Bonita and Northview, those teams are all tied up 7-7. Second half just getting underway from Bonita. Thousand Oaks, they've taken a 28-13 lead over El Medina. And that was a 1 point game at halftime, but Thousand Oaks has already scored twice in this first half. It looks like Jackson Taylor had a passing touchdown to Blake Lauritsen. And then Jackson Taylor had another touchdown pass to Silas Kemp. So 6 minutes into that third quarter, Thousand Oaks up by 15. Apple Valley, they're up 28-19 over Hesperia. A high scoring game there too. In the second half, already 20 points scored. Still 3 minutes to go in that third quarter. Apple Valley with that 9 point lead. Then Western, it's all Western. They're up 42-7 over Colony. San Joaquinto up big on Liberty, 42-14. And then Orange Vista up 14-0 over Eisenhower. And that is all the scoring updates for Division 5. And just even if your team loses tonight, it's just a great experience to finish your season in the playoffs. And congratulations to all of these squads playing tonight in the section and around the state and around the country.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Thomas. All right, how about Long Beach Poly? And this is when you got one of your top players go down for injury and things like that. You come back and you throw a touchdown pass right before half. Darius Curry, and he's a flat out playmaker. He finds Kamari Smith with 4 seconds remaining and they go up 17-14. VM will get the ball to start the second half, Thomas, but that is a good one. Darius Curry, he's a playmaker, and we're set up for a very good game in the second half.
Yes, Steve. Darius Curry of Long Beach Poly, a senior right now. He is headed to Colorado State next year, and the excuse me, the signal caller is nearing 3,000 passing yards on the season, and he had 36 passing touchdowns heading into today. And then Kamari Smith, who caught that touchdown, one of the top sophomore wide receivers in the country, had 8 receiving touchdowns heading into today, and he has offers already from Arizona and Utah. And exciting to see what Long Beach Poly can do the rest of the game, and to see if they can make noise all the way throughout the Division II bracket.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're a very good team. Long Beach Poly, as we mentioned all night, they're 9-1. You know, they went up against Bishop Gorman and got beat 60-15. But Bishop Gorman right now is currently the number 1 ranked team in the country according to Max Preps, and we'll see. We'll see if it ends up that way. Bishop Gorman. The one thing about Bishop Gorman is they really do not have a tough playoff road ahead of them. And it's very likely that they're going to roll to a state championship. We don't know if the Geico Bowl is going to happen, where they could potentially play a Florida team at the very end. Whereas a team like St. John Bosco, Mater Dei, and Sierra Canyon, those type of teams in Division One, I mean, you got to go through basically a top 25 team every week to get to a state championship. So we'll see. We'll see if the Gales from Bishop Gorman remain at 1, or maybe a SoCal team moves into that top spot. But Bishop Gorman, if you're interested in the national rankings type stuff, they did beat Corona Centennial 56-28, and they did beat Long Beach Poly 60-15. So a couple SoCal teams they took down for sure earlier in the season. But Long Beach Poly with that 17-14 lead going in to halftime. It looks like Marietta Valley, the Nighthawks, they're punting right now. And so Damien, who is fighting back in this game, is going to get the ball with 4:50 remaining in the third quarter as the punt returner grabbed it and was taken down right about their own 33-yard line. So they'll have just about over less than 70 yards to go downfield, see if they could take the lead in that game. That's a great game for sure. And as we're in the third quarter now, Northview is going to kick off to Bonita in Division 5. That game is squared at 7. And bounce around as we're getting close to even some teams heading into the fourth quarter, including in Division 13. We hit on this one a little bit, but the Walnut Mustangs, 21-16, they lead as Walnut just threw a touchdown to take the lead with about 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter in that one. Marietta Mesa Rams in Division 6, they got a 31-7 lead over Laguna Hills. They'll get the winner of West Ranch and La Habra in the next round. So it's been a fun night. If you're just joining us on the southern section RedZone. First time we're ever doing this in the southern section. Hopefully, you're enjoying the broadcast tonight. We've enjoyed ourselves, and we're just keep on going here. It's been fun to keep on, keep updated with all the scores. Hopefully, you're maybe sitting in bleachers at a stadium listening to us, out and about, in a press box, at a party, wherever you may be. We just appreciate you joining us, and hopefully, this has been a benefit to you all. We're having quite a bit of fun doing it as well. And Thomas, I know you have any updates on your end, any scores you're keeping an eye on here as we approach. Uh, a lot of the games in the third quarter and even into the fourth.
Yeah, Steve, I've been watching Division Three, specifically the Pacifica Cajon game. Pacifica up 17-14, and Cajon was driving down the field, had the ball around midfield, but then Jesse Taylor Jr. of Pacifica came up with a big interception to stop that drive, and now Pacifica up by 3. They are looking to add on right now. Some other scores around Division 3, San Juan Hills, they're up 30-15 over St. Francis of La Canada, and San Juan Hills scored a touchdown as Timmy Hare hit Angel Escandon midway through the third quarter. So San Juan Hills up by 15. Lusinger and Citrus Valley, and still it remains a close game. It's 7-3 still. Lusinger with that lead. Etowanda and St. Bonaventure also still a close game. 22-20. St. Bonaventure with that lead. Uh, Late in the third quarter right now, St. Bonaventure was up by 9, but then Demarcus Davis hit Jaden Landrum for a touchdown for Etowanda. So Etowanda trails by 2 right now, and it looks like it's after a big holding penalty on St. Bonaventure. That backs them up, and they have a long way to go right now. So if Etowanda's defense can hold firm here, they could get the ball back. And then over in the Beaumont Oak Hills game, Oak Hills, the Bulldogs, they're up 19-7 over the Cougars. And then Warren and Tustin, which 26 combined points in that first quarter, it remains 27-13. And it looks like that game just started a couple minutes ago. The second half just started a couple minutes ago. Long Beach Milliken and Villa Park are all knotted up at 21. And then the final game, Inglewood up 28-17 over Chaminade. And what a bracket this is in Division 3.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And speaking of what a bracket, how about Division Two? And I was watching this game right here. The Spartans, Damien, they have responded with 14 unanswered points here to kick off this third quarter. Isaiah Arezia to Gavin Lannon. Gavin bounced off a couple tackles, then dove in for the touchdown. And then Preston Yato came in and nailed the PAT. Back and forth in that game, 40-35. Wow, we got some great games going on. This is fun to see in the southern section all night long, and this is going to be real entertaining as we close out the night and start to get into some fourth quarter action. I think you just mentioned this game, Thomas, in Division Three, Villa Park and Milliken. Spartans Rams 21-21, literally just ended the third quarter. You're going into the fourth quarter, 21-21, and no points, Thomas, scored in that third quarter. So great job by Evan Sickles and hit Henry Medina. Both are live scorers in that game, have done a fantastic job keeping us posted. So it's been fun to see that one. Nice job. And Thomas, I mean, this is going to be fun. We're starting to see these games come down to the very wire.
Yeah, absolutely. And Henry Medina, the great reporter you just mentioned, he said just now that Villa Park picked up and converted a big fourth down. So They're driving down the field right now. First down and 10 when this fourth quarter gets underway, and it should be a great one. And Steve, you mentioned him a couple of minutes ago, but Isaiah Ariaza, the Damien quarterback, one of my favorite sophomores in the country, offers already from Florida State, Texas A&M. The sophomore has completed 63% of his passes this year, 25 touchdowns against just 4 interceptions, and he can also use his legs, rushing for 5 touchdowns. He's just the sophomore for Damien and already performing big on one of the biggest stages you can in the state.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, Division 9, Troy. It looks like Troy, the Warriors, they're going to, barring some type of miracle here, because they um, have taken a 34-7 lead, and there's still just 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. So it looks like in that one, Troy, we'll start to look at the potential matchups in the next round as we get deeper and deeper into this one. But if Troy was to advance, they would play either Santa Monica and Santa Ana. And so that game between those two teams will get you. It looks like right now that one's a close one. Santa Monica and Santa Ana. The Santa Monica has a 20-17 lead. Santa Ana has just punted to Santa Monica. So we'll keep an eye on that game. There's another close one for you. So the winner most likely will get Troy next week. So another good tight game that we're keeping an eye on as we're closing out the night. Checking back in on that Sarah and Bishop Amat game. That's a Division Two battle of two great teams. The Cavaliers still with the 28-14 lead. Sarah has it second down. There's under a minute in the third quarter. Very fast moving third quarter. No score in the third quarter, and it's 28-14. Sarah has the ball. Armando Ponce, the Lancers reporter, and Cameron Hernandez, the Cavaliers live scoring, uh, doing a fantastic job in that one. And as I'm talking about it, the end of the third quarter has come to an end. So Sarah looking to run out some time and um, hold on to the 14-point lead in that one. And the winner of that will play Los Alamitos and Upland. And Los Alamitos and Upland, as we're keeping an eye on that game, Los Alamitos, the Griffins, have the 42-24 lead as we approach under a minute to go in that game. And Los Alamitos has punted to Upland, and Phil Allen, the Highlander Scots reporter, doing a great job all night keeping live scores on Max Preps. Thomas, what do you got?
Steve, over in Division 3, Warren was up by 14, but Tustin got on the scoreboard just now on a 25-yard rushing touchdown by Ames Assis. So Tustin now down by 7. The extra point was good. So Warren's up by 7, and that's a big matchup in Division 3, where the winner of that game will face the winner of Oak Hills and Beaumont. And that game remains 19-7 right now. That game's entering the fourth quarter. Beaumont with a big third down and 10, thanks to reporters Terry Tano and Larry Church over in that one with the live updates all night long. 19-7 Oak Hills, and then Warren up on Tustin 27-20, and Warren gets the ball back now, and they have one of the best junior quarterbacks in the country, Madden Ima Lavia, and his brother at University of Tennessee, one of the best quarterbacks in the class of 2023 last season. So a good one brewing in Tustin as Warren is up by 7 right now.
All right, thanks, Thomas. And Oaks Christian, it looks like they are in the fourth quarter, and it looks like the Lions will be moving on. It's 34-7 right now, and Chaparral, the Pumas, have punted to Oaks Christian. So just as we get closer and closer to games wrapping up, we'll talk about the potential of the next games. And so in that bracket, Division Two, looks like Oaks Christian will be moving on, and they will be playing the winner of that Mission Viejo and Palos Verdes game. And it looks like the Diablos, Mission Viejo, they've got a 45-21 lead. So that could be a Mission Viejo Oaks Christian. We're not calling it yet, obviously, but Luke Fahey, a 75-yard touchdown pass to number 13, Vance Spafford, for the touchdown to pull away. We're about 4 minutes to go in that one. Mission Viejo and Oaks Christian could be the next matchup. And Thomas, Oaks Christian, and both these teams got some dudes, but let's talk a little bit about Oaks Christian.
Yeah, Oaks Christian is just absolutely loaded. Their quarterback, like we mentioned earlier, Nate Bennett, he is headed to Baylor. And then wide receiver, Chase Farrell, he's a senior. He is headed to Stanford. Then a sophomore, he's a five-star cornerback, Devon Benjamin. He is just a beast defensively. He has 6 interceptions so far in his career, uncommitted, but he's a five-star sophomore. And then a running back, another sophomore, Dejon Rideau. He's a 4-star running back sophomore. Averages 9 yards a carry as just a sophomore. And then that's not all for them. Another big time weapon at wide receiver. This guy's headed to Washington, Justice Williams. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they have 3-star linebacker Hayden Lowe. He is a junior. So just top to bottom, Oaks Christian is just absolutely loaded. And they're going to be a tough test for anyone they run across in this section playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Oaks Christian, the Lions, um, their 2 losses this year were to Sarah, right, and then Sierra Canyon. So those are good teams, and Sarah's, Thomas, right, is a team that potentially um, is in the bracket as well. And that game was a 26-13 game earlier on in the season. Sierra Canyon beat them 30-14. Sierra Canyon is up in the Division One playoffs. Sierra Canyon, can you imagine Sierra Canyon in modern day playing in the semifinals? Not looking too far ahead, but um, that's potentially what we could get. And so Oaks Christian, you look at them 8-2, but don't look completely just at that. They're a very, very good squad, as you mentioned, for sure. All right, well, let's keep bouncing around. Let's keep checking in on some of these other divisions as well. I'm going to go to Division 14. I'm going to go to Ocean View and Bolsa Grande, Thomas. 14-14 in that one. That's the last reported score that we got from that game, and that was just a little bit ago. So we'll see if that's the score here in a few minutes as we keep checking in on, especially the games that are real close. We'll keep watching anything that is a good one. So, Thomas, what are you keeping an eye on?
Yeah, in Division 7, Mayfair and Village Christian. Mayfair is up 23-17, and they were up by 13, but Village Christian got a touchdown to cut it within one score. And then Agora, they're up on Burroughs 35-18. And then in a really good one at Diamond Ranch, Muir and Diamond Ranch are all tied up 14-14. And this is in Division 7, 11 minutes to play in the ball game. Diamond Ranch just punted that one away. Muir has the ball on their own 20-yard line, and that's where they will start this drive. King up on Lakewood 35-6. Cilician up 28-16 over Granite Hills. Redondo Union and Bishop Diego, another great game. Redondo Union up 20-17. Both teams have scored in the fourth quarter, and there's only 3 minutes to go. And Redondo Union just uh, scored a touchdown. Nicholas London with a touchdown right there. So they kicked off. Bishop Diego going to start at their own 20-yard line with 3 minutes left. We'll be checking in with that one again shortly. And actually, right now, as John Michael Flint just had a long passing completion to Tua Rujas and 49 yards, it looks like, as the ball is on the Redondo Union 31-yard line. Big game right there. And the winner of that will face the winner of El Dorado and Laguna Beach. El Dorado, the Golden Hawks up 21-7. And then the final game in Division 7, Chino up on Long Beach Jordan 28-14. And that one's coming close to an end. 4 minutes to play in the game. Chino just scored a touchdown to take that 14-point lead. And it looks like Chino might be moving on.
All right, Thomas, thanks. Good updates there. I'm going to go to Division Two, and apologies ahead of time to the Titans if I get your name wrong. The Tockets Titans. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's them and St. Anthony. This is the Saints. So I'm just going to say Titans and Saints. And well, there's another NFL game. The Titans are leading 34-29. A 11-yard rushing touchdown there. We're in the fourth quarter. 6 minutes to go in that one. The Titans have taken the lead. That's been a great game all night, back and forth, good battles. And as we look at the competitive equity of the Southern section and placing teams based on their rankings, remember Cal Prep's rankings. Remember Cal Prep's rankings or Max Prep's rankings. Cal Prep's scores are powered by Max Prep scores. So anything that you see on Cal Preps is also on Max Preps. The, their rankings power Max Preps rankings. Our scores power Cal Preps. Without Max Preps, there's no Cal Preps rankings. So anyway, basically, you're looking at this competitive equity in a lot of other sections around California, and they're looking at the Southern section to say, should we do that as well? Because like we're seeing, Thomas, you're not going to get a lot of those big time blowouts because the games should be close because these teams are just so close to each other uh, in terms of rankings. Of course, some teams might, like an Oaks Christian, jumps out. They're a very good team and they're having a bit of a blowout, but you're not seeing a lot of that tonight across the southern section. So it's been fun to keep an eye on. And I'm going to go right back to Division 5, Thousand Oaks, and the Lancers, El Modena, the Vanguards. The Lancers are up 28-19 as we're kicking off the fourth quarter. In that one, Thousand Oaks has the ball. This is Division 5, so Thousand Oaks and El Modena in that one. The winner of that game gets the winner of Bonita and Northview. So Bonita and Northview will play the winner of that one. And right now, this is a good one here. The last we heard in that game, Bonita and Northview were 7-7 in the third quarter. So we'll keep checking on scores, especially the close ones, as we are getting close to the end of the night. Still a lot of action to go on. Thomas, what do you got?
Yeah, I got a couple of close games here in Division 12 where Santa Fe is up on Rim of the World 19-14. That game, 4 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, and Rim of the World has the football at midfield, down by 5. And then over to Arroyo and Arrowhead Christian. Arroyo, they led 29-10 in the fourth quarter, but Arrowhead Christian has not gone away easy. They have scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and they trail by just 6 right now. Big fourth down, and looks like they just turned it over on down, so Arroyo will get the ball back. And no, I'm sorry, that was Arroyo who turned the ball over on down, so Arrowhead Christian Down by 6, they have the ball on the Arroyo 43-yard line. That's going to be a great ending potentially. And then another close game here in Division 12, Victor Valley up 28-24 on Western Christian. The Fighting Lancers, Don Lugo up 38-17 on Santa Paula. Coachella Valley up 32-21 on South El Monte. And all the way from Division 2 to Division 14, lots of close matchups here. Lots of potentially great matchups coming up next week as well.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of great matchup, it looks like that Vista Murrieta Long Beach Poly game is very close to kicking off the second half. Uh, there, the Vista Murrieta sophomore Bryson Beavers, he's a very good quarterback. Looks like he has a 24/7 sports profile. That means he's an up and coming. He doesn't have stars yet or any offers on his 24/7 page, but I know they're starting to look at him. So he's thrown a passing touchdown in that game. Pauly Senior, obviously Darius Curry, one of the top in the country. He has 2 passing TDs, but he also has 2 interceptions. So Vista Murrieta is playing some good defense there. That's going to be a fun game to watch. That one is um, probably the latest game we have right now, because if you're just joining us, there was an injury um, in the first half that delayed the game for over 30 minutes. So that game, as far as right now on paper, looks to be the game that will end the latest in the southern section, barring some overtimes or things like that happen. And going to Division 8 now as we bounce around. How about North, the Saxons in Charter Oak, the Chargers, 14-14. As we tick on. So, Thomas, in that one, that game is 1 minute to go. Charter Oak just picked up a first down on their own 40-yard line, looking to take the lead in that one. So that's Division 8, Charter Oak and North. So the winner of that game would get the winner of Summit and Covina in the next round. And that is a great ball game. And get this, Thomas, the Covina Summit game just ended the third quarter, and it's 27-27. So I'm going to have both those games up to keep an eye on, as those are some good ones, as we're under a minute in that North Charter Oak game.
Wow, that sounds like a great game, Steve. And moving up a Division 2, Division 7, in that Bishop Diego Redondo Union game, Redondo Union just led 20-17, but Bishop Diego got into the end zone with 2 minutes left. Oscar Moe had a 5-yard rushing score. They missed the extra point, but Bishop Diego now up by 3 with, it says 1 minute to go now. And Redondo Union has the ball on their own 26-yard line. They're down 3 with a minute left. Should be a great ending there.
Yeah, we'll keep going back to the games that are coming down to the wire. And so it looks like our reporter, Jay Johnson, the Saxons reporter, great job all night long with the live score reporting for them. It looks like Charter Oak has first down under a minute and the ball on North's 30-yard line. So I'm not 100% on the, the field goal kicker for Charter Oak, but by where they're at right now, looks like it is within potentially field goal range. So that game is coming down to the very last minute, and it looks like the field goal kicker this year, Gibbons, he's 6 of 10. His long is 42. So that's junior Mitchell Gibbons. We'll see if it comes down to his leg, and that's what you get for putting your stats into Max Preps as well. We can put names on people and talk about them and highlight the kids a lot better. So great job there by the coaching staff of Charter Oak to get the stats into Max Preps. And so right now, Thomas, I'll keep you posted on that one. 14-14, under a minute to go. Now it's at the 24-yard line of North.
Thanks, Steven. Real quick, Arrowhead Christian, which was down by 19 points in the fourth quarter. They have scored 20 unanswered points, and they are now up 30-29 over Arroyo. Under 2 minutes to play. What a comeback. 20 unanswered points by Arrowhead Christian down in Division 12. Lots of great endings happening right now, Steve.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's fun stuff here as we close out the night and we pass the 9 p.m. hour. If you're joining us, Steve Montoya, Thomas Fry, Max Preps, we're at our headquarters here tonight. Following scores all over the southern section. We do have, as soon as we get some finals in, we'll go final. It looks like Rancho Cucamonga final there. They beat Edison 35-14. So they'll get the winner of the Damien Murrieta Valley game. That game is 40-35 right now. The Nighthawks, trailing by 5, are driving with 4:14. They just got a handoff, was just stuffed right about the 48-yard line of Damien. I have this one up on my screen. I'll keep an eye on this game too. We'll keep going back to that one. So the winner of that game will face Rancho Cucamonga next week. That will be a good one. No doubt about it. Division 2, absolutely loaded field. And we got some good games closing up. How about Rancho Mirage and Sonora? That one's 6 minutes to go. And mentioned this one too, I believe, in Division 9, 27-27 in that game. Sonora is inside Rancho Mirage's 20-yard line with 6 minutes left to go. So we have another final. We'll keep plugging on the finals as much as we can as well. In Division 9, Rio Hondo Prep, they beat St. Margaret's 28-26. So they'll get the winner of Diamond Bar and Orange. So we'll continue to pump out the final scores as they go final. Thomas, over to you.
Steve, I've got 2 Division 7 games that are very close. Muir scored to take a 20-14 lead over Diamond Ranch, and then over to Village Christian and Mayfair. Village Christian up 24-23. That game is heading into the fourth quarter right now. Should be a great ending here and all around the section. And still no more update in that Bishop Diego Redondo Union game. It's still 23-20, and the last update was a kickoff. So 1 minute left in that one. Should be a good one.
Yeah, for sure. And I got an update for you too. Murrieta Valley, Dorian Hosey, he scored a 30-yard rushing touchdown to make it 41-40. And then you go back to him for a 2-point conversion, 43-40, 3:36 remaining. Damien, the Spartans trail by 3. And the great reporter Jay Johnson of the Saxons has actually posted a couple pictures in the live scoring, and he put a picture of the game right now, and he says timeout, 5 seconds to go, field goal attempt coming, missed field goal attempt. Oh, that's right when I'm talking. Great job, Jay Johnson, with your updates. Missed field goal. We're going to overtime. North and Charter Oak. Wow, we got some fun stuff happening. This is when it gets fun for sure. And great job. I'm going to say it again from the live score there between North and Charter Oak.
And Steve, I've got another game right now where a kicker just missed. That's Muir and Diamond Ranch. Diamond Ranch scored a touchdown to tie it up 20-20 with 3 minutes left, and their kicker, the extra point went wide left, so it's 20-20. Muir's about to get the kickoff. All tied up, 3 minutes to play.
This is fun right here as we're coming close to the end, and we'll get you all the live finals as well as they come to a close. It looks like Elsinore, the Tigers, beat Bria Linda in Division 10. So Bria Linda and Elsinore with the win. They move on, and they'll play the winner of Hemet and Rancho Christian. In that one, California Lutheran, Calvary Chapel. That was 8-man. So little shout out to eight man California Lutheran with the win. So can't forget about the 8-man football teams. How about Brentwood School? They beat Fountain Valley 20-0 in Division 8. I know I might be doubling up a little bit what Thomas is saying too. So we'll just keep plugging away scores, Thomas, and we'll mark off our list when we have a final and knock that out for sure. And we'll keep you updated on all these close games going on. But we have an update in the Long Beach Poly game. Long Beach Poly 6-yard touchdown run by Darius Curry. Long Beach Poly now has made that a 10-point game. That's 17 straight points for the Jackrabbits.
Yeah, the Jackrabbits, they've been on fire the past couple of minutes here. And got a final for you. Arrowhead Christian 30, Arroyo 29. That's in Division 12. Arrowhead Christian scored the final 20 points of the game to put that one away. And they're headed to the next round.
All right, good stuff. And I'm going to keep you updated on this Damien Marietta Valley game in Division 2. Damien has the ball, the quarterback scrambling. Uh-oh. That is a big-time sack. I'm looking at the line of scrimmage, and I'm not kidding. It was probably a 17-yard sack there. The original line of scrimmage is at the 30, say 6, and now the ball is all the way back at the 16-yard line. So big time sack for Marietta Valley. Are they're up 3. There's 3:18 left, and it looks like it's about a third down and a mile right now for Damien. So we'll keep you updated on that game. Keep an eye on that one as that's going on. That's a Division 2 game. Division 2, and the winner they already know who you're going to get, and that's Rancho Cucamonga. Rancho Cucamonga, they are 10-1 on this season. Their one loss came to Upland 17-14 late in the season, and they've had some big wins, beating Bishop Amat and Servite, and so Rancho Cucamonga is a very, very good team, and that's who the winner will get, and they're actually ranked as the 13th best team in the state of California uh, right now. So we have a final Villa Park right there, Thomas.
Yep, Steve, and Villa Park won this one 28-21 over Long Beach Milliken. Looks like they scored a touchdown with 1 minute to go as Dominic Ansich had a 1-yard rushing score for Villa Park. They win over Long Beach Milliken 28-21, and they will face the winner of Chaminade and Inglewood. And that game right now is 28-25 after Chaminade has made that a 3-point game now. Lots of great action here in the southern section, and it's going to be a great next hour or so.
Yeah, no doubt. How about Capistrano Valley and Downey? That's Division 4, right? And that one was 34-34. You had Division 4, Capistrano Valley with about 4 minutes left to go. Rushing touchdown, PAT up and good. So that's Division 4, 34-34. That's going to be a good one to game, a good one as well. So we do have a bit of a blowout going on in Division 6. Ontario Christian, they're looking very strong, 45-13. So they're winning that game. They're going to move on. They'll get the winner of Huntington Beach and Glendora, and that's a very good game as well going on at the moment. The score is 22-21. 8 minutes to go in that game. The Oilers are ahead 22-21 Huntington Beach. Glendora had a field goal in the third quarter, and that was the only points. Huntington Beach just blocked a kick, and they have the ball now at their own 32-yard line. So Jeff Lopez, the Oilers live score reporter, has a lot of updates in that one. So it looks like it's second down, 8 minutes to go. Now Huntington Beach has it on their own 40-yard line, so they're moving in that one. Still, though, 8 minutes left to go in that ball game.
And Steve, in Division 7, Redondo Union just tied it up with Bishop Diego 23-23 as Nicholas McGee hit possibly the biggest field goal of his life. And that game is headed to overtime now. He hit that field goal with under a minute to play, and Redondo Union and Bishop Diego are headed to overtime in Division 7.
Yeah, and it looks like with 2 minutes left in that Damian Murrieta Valley game, the defense is still on the field for Marietta Valley. It's fourth down, and there was a big penalty. Oh, wow. Major penalty. I may have been roughing the passer. I don't know. I just turned my head and looked back, and all I saw was the referee marching off about 15 yards, because on the play before they dumped off a little screen. They got it within about 14 yards on the fourth down. Then the fourth down happened. It was a pass. It was incomplete. So I turned my head, but I turned back, and they were marching off. So my hunch, it was a roughing the passer call. And now Damien has the ball, a minute 53 at their own 45-yard line, as the quarterback is looking to throw, and he will have a completion. So no play-by-play on that game right now for me, but we'll come back to that game. I'm going to keep my eye on that one. Damien trailing by 3 in that one. Los Osos, the Grizzlies, they beat South Pasadena 30-27. So in Division 9, Rio Hondo Prep and Orange moved on. They'll play each other, and that Los Osos will move on. They'll play the winner of Dominguez and Kaiser. And in that game, Dominguez, we were watching that game earlier, and it looks like it has gone final. Kaiser Cats come back and they win that game, and the Cats beat Dominguez 17-14 in that game. So another good game right there.
Yeah, and Steve, in Division 3, it looks like St. Bonaventure has now taken a 29-20 lead over Etowanda after Jace Franco had a 12-yard rushing touchdown. That game is now in the beginning of the fourth quarter. Warren and Tustin, both teams have each scored a touchdown since the last update. It's now 34-27 Warren, and Tustin just scored their touchdown. They just scored a new touchdown, and they missed the extra point. So Warren is now up 34-33. Marquise Guzman had a 22-yard pass completion to Larry Allen for a touchdown, and then they missed the extra point. So they trail by 1 with 8 minutes left to go in the game. Warren and Tustin, big one in Division 3. And then Chaminade over Inglewood, 32-28 now. And Cajun has beat Pacifica 27-17. And back to you, Steve.
All right. We're continuing the countdown of these big time games here, as we have a lot of close ones. And speaking of that, Division 5, Simi Valley 34, Rancho Verde 34, with 4 minutes to go. And Simi Valley has a fourth down at Rancho Verde's 40-yard line. Paul Prevost, the Pioneers live scoring reporter, has done a fantastic job all night. And it looks like 8 seconds. Okay, so we've moved this game quite a bit, and it looks like Simi Valley's Joseph Sereno with a long pass to Jaden Clark. Simi Valley has the ball on Rancho Verde's 25-yard line. And so I wasn't completely caught up on the live scoring. Now I am. And guess what? We're going to overtime in that game. So 34-34 overtime, another overtime game. Rancho Verde, Simi Valley, Pioneers, Mustangs, another one coming down to the very end.
Yeah, and Steve, another game that came down to the very end was in Division 11 as Patriot took down Los Altos 42-39. That was a close one all night, but Patriot gets the victory and they are moving on in Division 11.
All right, so going back to that Charter Oak North game, Charter Oak has the 21-14 lead. Let's see here. But North has a first down, so there's a chance for them to answer. Charter Oak scored on our passing TD. Damien, with 45 seconds left to go in that game with Marietta Valley, trailing by 3, second down and 10, and the ball is at Marietta Valley's 42-yard line. There's 45 seconds left to go in that game. I want to stay with this one real quick. And as we stay with this game, Thomas, I'm sure you can kind of dig up some games that have come final or coming to an end after I give a little bit of an update on what happens here as we close out this Damien Marietta Valley game. 45 seconds left to go, and the quarterback drops the ball, and Damien jumps on it. Fortunately for them, they jumped on it, but the ball goes all the way back now to their own 46-yard line. So fortunate break for Damien to maintain possession. There's a timeout on the field. So we'll go back to some live scores now. Thomas, what do you got?
Yeah, Steve, I've got a bunch of finals in Division 10. Kennedy beat Crescenta Valley 28-14. Xavier Prep beat La Quinta 14-3. West Covina beat Paloma Valley 30-16. Beckman beat Capistrano Valley Christian 14-9. Elsinore beat Bria Olinda 37-6. Hamet beat Rancho Christian 38-28. Redlands beat San Marino 28-21. And yeah, that looks like that's everything for. Oh, Torrance also beat Sagerstrom 30-7. So all the games in Division 10 have gone final.
All right, so Division 10, we'll check that off, and the brackets will be updated on Max Preps as well. If you want to go see those, the good thing about Max Preps brackets, all interactive, so you could click on the teams and find out a little bit about each team in each of the bracket. All right, back to the Damien game. There's a screen pass coming right now, and the running back's just trying to run everywhere, but he's thrown down right about midfield. The clock is running. We're about 25 seconds, and the clock is ticking. Everybody's trying to get back onto the side of the field. You can't spike it here because it's fourth and 22. So this is the end. We'll let you listen in.
Probably be the last play of the game. Rise, fires deep. The pass is incomplete.
All right, so incomplete NFHS network there, where you can watch all these playoff games. That one comes to an incompletion. So Marietta Valley in that back and forth wild game in Division 2. And that one will go to the Nighthawks. And they'll be moving on in that one. What a game in Division 2. It looks like Charter Oak, or that wild game that came down to a field goal that was missed, so they went to overtime. It looks like Charter Oak pulls out the victory 21-14. So Charter Oak in Division 8 will move on to play the winner of Summit and Covina. Summit Covina, checking in on that game. Covina 34-27. Summit first down, 4 minutes to go. Summit has the ball at their own 27-yard line, so a little bit of field or a little bit of a ways to go to punch one into the end zone. But Summit does have a chance. The Skyhawks, they're down 34-17, so we'll keep an eye on that game. How about this? Capistrano Valley, they win 37-34. That's a Division 4 game. And it looks like Capistrano Valley, wow, a field goal to win it. Capistrano Valley, how about that? Exciting game in Division 4. Capistrano Valley 37-34. They'll move on. They'll play Culver City next week. Thomas, what do you got?
Steve, I've got some finals out here in Division 11. Quartz Hill beat Gar 28-7. Ramona beat San Gorgonio 70-14. They put up 70 on them. It looks like this game is over, but Palmdale over Bellflower 40-38. And then still in the fourth quarter, Cantwell Sacred Heart of Mary up 19-7 over Marantha. And Westminster is up on Sure 21-10 late in the fourth quarter.
All right, Thomas. So I'm going to go back to the Division 8 game between Covina, the Colts, and the Summit Skyhawks. 34-27. Summit has moved just past midfield with 3 minutes to go in that one. 34-27. Covina is currently in front, but Summit is moving, and now Summit, right about the 48-yard line now with 2 minutes to go. Second down. Fantastic job by Patrick McCarthy, the Colts live score reporter, doing a great job of updating us as we go along. And we have to just give a shout out to all of the live scorers across the section and across the country. Thomas, over to you.
Yeah, and Lanu Penn, the Bishop Diego reporter, doing a great job in that Bishop Diego Redondo Union game. That game is in overtime, and Redondo Union threw an interception on their possession. So now Bishop Diego, with the game tied, they can win with any score. They have the ball right now, as it's their half of the overtime. We'll keep it. We'll keep this one updated throughout the evening until it is over. But a good one in Bishop Diego.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Agora, and we may have mentioned this one, they're moving on in Division 7. They had a big win, and they'll be playing the winner of the Muir and Diamond Ranch game. Going back to the Covina and Summit game, I believe there's some timeout or something happening right now as there's on the field, Summit trying to come back and win that game. That Simi Valley and Rancho Verde game. We are in overtime. Rancho Verde turned the ball over on downs on a missed. Well, I shouldn't say they turned. Yeah, it was a missed field goal. So Simi Valley, Bryce Hawkins with a long run, and they have the ball at the 14-yard line. And Simi Valley's Bryce Hawkins scores the touchdown. The Pioneers 40, Rancho Verde 34, and that's a final. What a ball game in Division 6, and it's Simi Valley. They're moving on to face Korean Lutheran in that game. Simi Valley on the season with 5-5 overall, and that was a big win in that one. And is in overtime. Thomas, over to you.
Yeah, Steve, I've got a final in Division 3. Oak Hills beat Beaumont 26-13. And Inglewood is up on Chaminade right now, 35-32, 117 left in the ball game, and Chaminade has the football thanks to Eagles reporter Chris Malone for the great commentary of the game for Chaminade, down by 3, 117 left to play in the ball game.
All right, as we're getting all these finals coming in, do want to get you caught up on Long Beach Poly right now. And Vista Marietta, 30-21, 9-11 left to go in that fourth quarter. Long Beach Poly in front of that one. So that one is a good one, as well as Inglewood and Chaminade. We talked about this game tonight. There's a minute 17 left. 1st and 10 for the Eagles on the Inglewood's 44-yard line. So 117 left to go. Chaminade trailing by 3, and they're trying to send this game to overtime or better in Division 3, right, Thomas? So that was Division 3. We believe you were hitting on Division 3 as well.
Yep, and I'm the Warren-Tustin game, 34-33 right now, with Warren in the lead. That should be a good ending. And just a lot of great games going on right now.
Yeah, for sure. And Summit, 4th down, 2 minutes to go, the ball on their own 45-yard line. So the Skyhawks in a little bit of trouble right now. It looks like it's coming down to getting this first down or not. So, we got an update. Chaminade, Seth Shig with a 20-yard rushing touchdown, and Ryan Sari with the PAT. Chaminade 39, Inglewood 35. Under a minute left to go in that one. What a game between Chaminade and Inglewood. The Sentinels will have to put up. They'll have to. They need a touchdown, trailing 39-35. So incredible game there for sure. Thomas Chaminade just scored, and we're continuing to just have some phenomenal games. Summit has turned possession over on downs, and Covina has the ball on their own 35-yard line, under a minute to go. So barring a fumble or a miracle, the Covina Colts looking like they will win that game, and Covina and Charter Oak will move on. Yeah, I did give that update that Marietta Valley did go on to win. So Thomas, we can talk a little bit though about Division 2 and just currently what we're looking at for brackets. And Thomas, you got as it stands now, what are some of the matchups looking like next week of scores that have gone final in Division 2?
Yeah, Steve, we've got some great ones here. Rancho Cucamonga, they're going to be taking on Marietta Valley. Marietta Valley led by quarterback Bear Bachmeyer, the four-star junior. And then right below that, we have Oaks Christian taking on Mission Viejo, and that should be another doozy. And then Sarah against Los Alamitos. Great game between two just great teams overall. Both teams have great defenders. And then at the bottom of the bracket, Survey against the winner of Long Beach Poly and Vista Marietta, which looks like it's 31-21 now in favor of Long Beach Poly.
Yep. All right, cool. And in Division 3, Chaminade right now, as mentioned, they're looking pretty good in this game unless Inglewood could pull off an incredible miracle here. Now, remember, Chaminade, they in Division 3, they do have a chance. I mean, losses were to Sierra Canyon and Bishop Amat and Sarah and J. Sarah Catholic and Oaks Christian. Those are all very quality losses, and so there's a chance Chaminade can shock some people because they've been playing a real tough schedule. The Eagles, and they're in a very good league in the Mission League. I mean, in the Mission League, you have Sierra Canyon, Sarah, Bishop Amat, Chaminade, Notre Dame, Sherman Oaks, and Alamany. So I mean, you have a very good tough league. And so Inglewood will have 80 yards to go with under a minute to try to tie that game up, or excuse me, take the lead and win that game. So how about we check in real quick in Division 9? End of regulation, Thomas. We're seeing another overtime game. Santa Monica, Santa Ana going to overtime, 27-27. And it was a field goal that was good. Under a minute. Santa Ana nailed it. I'm telling you, special teams at all levels is just so important. Those field goal kickers, um, at the high school level, if you could get a kid who's kicking field goals, that's amazing. And you just want your field goal kick. If you can get a kicker who can make PATs and can kick the ball into the end zone, you have an amazing kicker. Santa Ana's kicker right there ties that game up. We're going to overtime. Thomas, what do you got?
Yep, I've got a final for a game that was in overtime. Redondo Union came out on top over Bishop Diego 29-23 in overtime. And that game started out with Bishop Diego, or that overtime started out with Redondo Union throwing an interception, and it ended with Redondo Union winning the ball game. So 29-23, Redondo Union is moving on in Division 7.
All right, thanks. And it looks like Inglewood, Chris Malone, the Chaminade's live score reporter, has uh, made a comment that there was a drop pass. So it's second down and 10, 24 seconds left to go. Inglewood has an uphill climb here to try to win that game. Let's go to Division 10. Apologies if I'm repeating anything here, but it looks like Kennedy, yeah, they'll win that game over Crescenta Valley. So we'll start to get you as many of the finals as we can, and we'll go through each of the divisions and get you caught up on where we stand with the brackets and where we're at. Thomas, if you want to look at Division 5, I'll take a peek at Division 4 and where we're at right now with Loyola beating Norte Vista to move on. And they'll get the winner of Yorba Linda and Moore Park. And it looks like that's a very good game. Yes, that's a very good game in Division 4. Yorba Linda 34. The Moore Park Musketeers 30. A pass completion for a touchdown with 4 minutes left to go has Yorba Linda out in front. Then there's also Corona Del Mar. They won 40-20. They'll play either Santa Barbara and St. Paul. And in that game right now, the Dons have won. Okay, so the Dons come back and beat St. Paul Swordsman 41-35. That was a back and forth battle. Santa Barbara scored. Oh, this was another overtime game that went into 2 overtimes. Santa Barbara, the Dons, they win 41-35. They'll play Corona Del Mar. Culver City 38-28. They'll play Capistrano Valley, who beat Downey 37-34. Trabuco Hills beat Newport Harbor 24-21. They'll get the winner of Great Oak and La Serna, and it looks like La Serna is up 46-21. So Division 4, there's your Division 4 bracket right now. And Thomas, uh, Santa Monica beat Santa Ana in Division 9, but what do you got in Division 5?
In Division 5, under a minute left, but Newberry Park, led by quarterback Brady Smigel, have this one pretty much wrapped up. They are up 42-30, under a minute to play. And then Bonita and Northview, it looks like that game is all tied up 14-14 with about 2 minutes left. And they will face the winner of El Medina and Thousand Oaks. Another that's 41-34, Thousand Oaks right now. And they do have the ball and a first down. So not sure how many timeouts El Medina has, but Thousand Oaks up 7 right now. Apple Valley is looks like they have beaten Hesperia 35-32. Western has beaten Colony 42-14. So Western will face Apple Valley in the next round. And then San Joaquinto beat Liberty 56-14, and they will play the winner of Orange Vista and Eisenhower, and it looks like Orange Vista won this one 21-7. So Orange Vista and San Joaquinto for next week, and that is the Division 5 update, and not yet final yet, the Newberry Park score, but they are up by 12 with under a minute left to play.
All right, Thomas, I'll take Division 6. If you want to look ahead to Division 7, Ontario Christian is moving on. They beat Dana Hills, Huntington Beach, and Ontario Christian will meet in the next round. Korean Lutheran 37-21 over Hart. They'll play Simi Valley in the next round. Marietta Mesa beat Laguna Hills 45-14. They'll take on La Habra in the next round. They beat West Ranch, and Miracosta is moving on. And let's see, they'll play the winner of Rio Mesa and Cypress. And that game currently, right now, is all Cypress. No, Cypress actually, it is final. So Cypress beats Rio Mesa. So it's Cypress and Miracosta in that one. So Division 6, pretty much all but final. So Division 7, Thomas, you got anything in Division 7?
Yes, Steve. So in Division 7, Chino is moving on, and they will face the winner of Village Christian and Mayfair. That game all tied up 31-31, under a minute to play. So that one could be headed to overtime. And then Muir, they have moved on, and they are they after beating Diamond Ranch 26-20 in a very very back and forth game, and they will face Agora, who beat Burroughs 42-18. King, they will take on Cilician. And then at the bottom of the bracket, Redondo Union, who won in overtime, they will be taking on El Dorado, who beat Laguna Beach 21-7.
Perfect. I'll take Division 8, and you can look ahead to Division 9. We got Division 8. We got Brentwood School and Highland. They'll meet up next. You have Charter Oak over North, 21-14. Covina beat Summit, 34-27. We talked about that one. St. Pius ex St. Matthias Academy. That's a mouthful. They beat Barstow 42-21. St. Anthony, wow, they pulled off a stunner 35-34. And again, apologies. I know I'm going to get this name wrong. They beat Tockets 35-34. I know I'm not saying that right. Apologies to that school ahead of time. Elisa Nagel 28-7 over Lawndale, and Jurapa Hills 28-6. Again, apologies for any names I'm getting incorrect here. Over 100 games tonight, 200 teams. It's been a fun long night. All right, no excuses though, Thomas. What do you got? Division 9. Looks like you might still be on mute there. There we go.
Thank you, Steve. Yep, Rio Honda Prep, they will be taking on Orange. Both teams won one possession games tonight. And then Sonora, they beat Rancho Mirage. And I'm looking for the score right now for Vista del Lago and Marina. But Sonora will face the winner of that game. And then below that, Santa Monica, they'll be taking on Troy. And then at the bottom of the bracket, Kaiser, will be taking on Los Osos, and both those teams won their games tonight by 3 points. So could be a great one next week in the second round, and that will do it for Division 9, Steve.
All right, I'll take Division 10 as you look ahead to Division 11. Torrance, 30-7. They'll move on. They'll play the winner of San Marino and Redlands. See if we can get a score for that game. It looks as if this game is a good one, but we do need an updated score. We'll check on that one. The last that was reported to us was 28-21 with Redlands in front, but we cannot confirm if that game has gone final yet. We can confirm that Hemet and Elsinore will meet in the next round, and Beckman and West Covina, as well as Xavier Prep and Kennedy. So that's Division 10. Thomas, you got a division.
Yeah, Steve, in Division 11, Quartz Hill, they will be facing Linfield Christian in the next round. Linfield Christian, that game under 2 minutes, but they have an 11-point lead. So it looks solid for Linfield Christian. And then Ramona, they will be taking on Palmdale. Palmdale won a close one, 40-32 tonight over Bellflower. Below that, Poly, they will be taking on Patriot. And then at the bottom of the bracket, Westminster will be taking on the winner of Marantha and Cantwell, Sacred Heart of Mary. And that will round. It looks like I don't have an update yet on the Cantwell game. I will. Cantwell looks like they're going to win actually. So Cantwell and Westminster in the next round, and that will do it for Division 11.
All right. So Division 12, the scores aren't as updated as some of the other divisions, but I do have Coachella Valley beating South El Monte. We're looking at the winner playing Santa Paula or Don Lugo, and it looks like Don Lugo will move on to play Coachella Valley. Victor Valley and Western Christian are playing, and that game, that's a good one. And so this one, the Victor Valley Jackrabbits, 41, Western Christian, 38, and Victor Valley, Hezekiah Jenkins with a 5-yard rushing touchdown. PAT is good. 41-38, 3 minutes left to go in that one. Fillmore and Cerritos. This game we will need to find a score for that one. No updated score from that one. Santa Fe, as we mentioned, beat Rim of the World. They'll face the winner of Arroyo and Arrowhead Christian. And right now, that's another good game. And last we had it was 30-29 with Arroyo winning. But we'll try to get that confirmed as well, as that one did not have a live score reporter. It looks like Buena Park will be moving on, and they will face either Yucca Valley or Wilson. And in that game, we will try to get a score as well. So light scores coming in Division 12. We'll jump to Division 13.
Yeah, Steve, kind of the same boat in Division 13. Not a ton of reported scores, but Walnut did defeat Silver Valley 27-16. San Gorgonio beat Bloomington 27-14. St. Monica beat Santa Ana Valley 27-0. And Desert Hot Springs, it's reported they beat Europa Valley 27-26. And then one game that is not final yet, and it looks like the fourth quarter may have just begun, is Miller and Grace, with Miller leading Grace 57-50 in a shootout.
All right, thanks, Thomas. Before we go to Division 14, just an update on the Long Beach Poly Vista Murrieta game right now. Long Beach Poly 30-21, and there is about 3 19 left to go in that one. The scores we have currently in Division 14, Santa Rosa Academy, they're moving on. Same with Bell Gardens. Anaheim beat Hawthorne, big time El Monte with the win, and Linwood and Whittier Christian will meet as well. So those were the rundown of uh, the brackets that we have. And how about this in Division 12? Western Christian, a 55-yard touchdown run, 44-41. A phenomenal game in Division 12. The Fighting Lancers take the lead on the Jackrabbits, 44-31. So we've looked at quite a bit of final scores so far tonight. There's still a few games that are coming to a close uh, here tonight, and we definitely have finals up and down. The brackets on Max Preps, you can jump in and find those and interact and click around, see who the teams are going to be playing next. Um, it looks like in that Division 3, Thomas, if we want to jump into Division 3, I'll take a look at that San Juan Hills game. The Stallions, they're up 37-18 right now on St. Francis, the Golden Knights. So it looks like San Juan Hills will be moving on in that game. And they're likely, I think we last reported that at the winner of that Citrus Valley losing her game will get a score to you ASAP on that one.
In that Tustin and Warren game, Warren pulled it out 34-33, and I just watched a video of the final play on YouTube. I'm sorry, on X by James Brock, and Warren got a stop on fourth down right inside the 10-yard line. It looks like maybe at the 9. So Warren pulls it off, and they're headed to the second round of the playoffs.
All right, thanks, Thomas. And Citrus Valley beat Losinger 17-14 in that game. So that one went final. Citrus Valley with the 17-14 victory there. We'll be putting those scores in as well. So a lot of matchups are already come to an end. We already can start to look ahead a little bit to next week. It looks like St. Bonaventure it has pulled out 6 win, and they'll be playing Cajon in the next round. Oak Hills got the winner of Tustin Warren in Division 3, and that one was final, very close one. Warren with the win, and Chaminade and Inglewood. We were taking a look at that game as we recall. That game was super close. Chaminade with the late score, and yes, Chaminade with the victory in Division 3. So it'll be Chaminade and Villa Park in Division 3. So we'll keep an eye on the games that are still going on. As we mentioned, Long Beach Poly in Division 2. Just taking a look at that bracket. It's Rancho Cucamonga, Marietta Valley, Oaks Christian, Mission Viejo, Serra, Los Alamitos, and then you have either Long Beach Poly or Vista Marietta, playing, and they're going to be playing Servite. Servite right now has the ball, and they just scored Quade Carr 48-yard touchdown run. It's 47 and now 48-24. So pretty much Division 2 is a wrap. I'm not saying Vista Marietta can't come back, but down that much late in the game, super tough. So that Division 2, those quarterfinal games are going to be a fun one to watch there, Thomas.
Yeah, and Steve, looks like we had a wild finish in the Bonita versus Northview game in Division 5. Bonita pulled it off 21-20, but looks like with under a minute to play, it was 14-14, and then Bonita scored a touchdown to go up 21-14, and then Northview with their season on the line, with their seniors' careers on the line, managed to tie it up with under a minute left, but then they missed the extra point, and it went final. Bonita 21, Northview 20. They move on in Division 5, and what a game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yorba Linda and Moore Park in Division 4. That one looks like 34-30, the Mustangs. And just to quickly go over Division 4 once again, Loyola moving on. So they'd either play Yorba Linda or Moore Park. Santa Barbara and Corona del Mar will play. Culver City, Capistrano Valley, and La Serna and Trabuco Hills will be playing in Division 4. So most of the games are starting to come down to the very end, or they're already wrapped up. Um, we'll be looking at some scores that we have not confirmed yet, but for the most part, we're starting to see the majority, if not all, games go final. So it looks like the Redlands did beat San Marino 28-21 in Division 10. So that's a confirmed final. So it will be Torrance against Redlands in that one, then Hemet, Elsinore, Beckman, West Covina, Xavier Prep, and Kennedy. So, Thomas, you seen any other games that we should be keeping an eye on coming to a close one? It looks like most of the games are starting to wrap up here.
Yeah, one game I see in Division 13, that Miller and Grace game. Miller now is up 65-50 with 3 minutes left after scoring a touchdown and getting the 2-point conversion. And I'm looking around at the other scores right now, but that was the one that popped to mind.
Yeah, yeah, and it looks like Division 14, Artesia and Temecula Prep are still going, but the Pioneers of Artesia have a huge lead, and they have the ball. Well, it looks like Temecula Prep may have the ball now, but a minute to go. So that one is basically a final there. So they'll move on to play Santa Rosa Academy, and so we are coming up to a lot of close games. I mean, it's been a fun night. There were a lot of overtime games tonight, and so it was wild to say the least to follow these games. How about Division 7 at Chino? And they have the winner of that Mayfair and Village Christian game. Okay, so that could be another game that the last reported score we have was that they were tied. So I don't know, Thomas, why I jumped through some more scores here. If you want to check if we can confirm Mayfair and Village Christian in Division 7, if you can look that one up, that would be great. Agora and Muir will play King Salesian, Redondo Union, and El Dorado as well. And then Chino beat Jordan 42-22. So the one score we're missing in Division 7 is Mayfair and Village Christian. We'll try to get that one as soon as we can. Thomas, you have anything on that one?
Yeah, Steve. So that game, it looks like it's an overtime, and according to Anthony Cerdelli of the Press Telegram, it looks like he was reporting on X that there was an injury on the field, and that player is now up though. But it looks like that injury was about 5 or 10 minutes. So he says the player is off the field, and that game should be getting back to overtime any moment now.
Okay, if you want to keep that one open, so we can follow that reporter's feed there, just to make sure that we get that one final. That looks to be the one missing score in that division. Division 13, another score we are missing, but now confirmed. Los Amigos beat San Gabriel 28 to 20. So Los Amigos, great name. They beat San Gabriel 28-20. So that is in Division 13. So it looks like Los Amigos will be playing Walnut in the next round in Division 13.
Yeah, and see, we just had a touchdown, it looks like, in that Mayfair game, and it was by Village Christian, 38-31. Devontae Flourney Trice scored from 7 yards out, so they're up by 7 in overtime. But now Mayfair will get their chance with the ball in their half of the overtime.
All right. And then in Division 3, a final score, San Juan Hills, they beat St. Francis 38-17. Chris Williams snagged a pair of interceptions, and San Juan Hills, the top seed, they'll move on to face Citrus Valley in the next round. So 38-17 in that game. That is a final in Division 3. Division 3, another very good another very good bracket. There's no doubt about that one. I think we were the Citrus Valley game. We have a final on that game? I can't recall if we had the final on Citrus Valley and Losinger.
The
We were
last I saw, Losinger was up 17-7, but I'll check on that one right now.
okay. Yeah. Oh, that's right. We did have a final there. It was 17-14. Citrus Valley with the final with the score there. So we'll put that score in so we can mark that one off. Citrus Valley 14-7, and it looked like Losinger turned the ball over on downs late in the game, and then Citrus Valley ran one in. Dawson Martinez, a 65-yard score to get into the end zone. So that was the final score for Losinger, or excuse me, for Citrus Valley. Looks like Losinger scored one more time, but Citrus Valley hung on to win that game. So good chunk of the games have gone final. It's going to be an exciting, exciting week as well. Next week, right, Thomas? I mean, you got Division 1 starting up as well. So, I mean, it's going to be a phenomenal week of football next week in the Southern section. I mean, look what we saw this week. Next week is going to be a doozy.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have more than 50 games out of just Division 2 through 14, and then you add in those 4 great Division 1 games, and you're around 55 games next week, and so many of those are going to come down to the wire. And when the season is on the line, players can just do magical things sometimes, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, no doubt. And speaking of amazing, there's an amazing game in Division 12 going on right now. Victor Valley, the Jackrabbits, and Western Christian, the Fighting Lancers. It has been back and forth, and Victor Valley, Robert Middlebrooks, 50-yard pass to Jason Clark for a TD with under a minute to go, right around a minute to go. And it's now 48-44 Victor Valley, the Jackrabbits in front. So in that game, anything can happen. So you never know. There could be another big time long play that could lead. But we do have a final in Division 2. The game we thought actually would be the final game of the night, but actually wrapped up. Long Beach Poly did pull out the victory. So Long Beach Poly ends up beating Vista Murrieta 30-21. And Thomas, that is a game next week. Long Beach Poly against Servite.
Oh yeah, that should be a great one. And those teams have matched up in the playoffs before, and just two great quarterbacks. And yeah, it should be a great one. And Steve, I've got an update in that Mayfair game. Mayfair won the game. They had a 26-yard touchdown pass completed, and then they went for two. And Calvin hit Gilbreth for a 2-point conversion, and Mayfair wins 39-38 in overtime to move on. And what a game that was right there, as Mayfair wins 39-38.
Yeah. All right. So it's good stuff there coming down to the end. And we're almost we're almost at a point now where all games have gone final. We're probably missing just a couple. That Victor Valley and Western Christian game is still going on, but for the most part, we have come to a close on the night, and what a night it has been. I mean, we've seen overtimes, we've seen games won at the very end, we've seen just back and forth battles. It has been a phenomenal night of football in the southern section, and we're just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. This is just the beginning of it all, as we are in round one of this section playoffs. So it's been a fun night. There's no doubt about that. And it looks like in that game right now with Victor Valley and Western Christian just try to get the ball and pull out a miracle in that game. Thomas, any other games that were um, missing? I don't think so. I know in Division Two, we were missing that Long Beach Poly game, but it's Long Beach Poly Servite, Los Alamitos Serra, Oaks Christian Mission Viejo, and Rancho Cucamonga and Murrieta Valley. So those are some games. There's no doubt about that. Should be fun. Uh,
Yes,
fun.
Steve, I think we got them all. I'm looking through them again, but I can't find any that we don't have at the moment so far.
Okay. So I think we're getting close to wrapping up the show here tonight, as we pretty much have all the scores into Max Preps right now. We've come to a close on the majority of all scores, outside of potentially just the one game between Victor Valley and Western Christian. Jill Holsey and Robert Middlebrooks have done a great job live scoring that game all night. If you're interested in following that game, the remainder of it, they will have it. It looks like Victor Valley will pull this out, but I don't want to speak too soon. If you want to follow that game, that's the Division 12 game. The remainder of the games, did we ever find, Thomas, that Vista del Lago Marina game? Was the final 24-17 Vista del Lago?
I have not found that one yet, but I'll take another look right now.
Okay, so we may be missing a Division 9 score, Vista del Lago Ravens. If you know that score, just go to their team page on Max Preps. There's a big report score. Just report that thing right in, and we'll have pretty much all the brackets all but wrapped up tonight. Uh, all 14 over 100 games, and that doesn't include 8-man games. So a lot of football played tonight.
Yep, it was a great night for football in the southern section, and I can't wait to see how it plays out next week as well.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that will do it for us tonight. We appreciate anybody who listened to us at all. It's been a pleasure of ours. Hopefully, it was valuable to you. Let us know. That'd be great. Steve Montoya and Thomas Fry of Max Preps reporting from our headquarters. We appreciate everybody who's listened in. Have a great night and good luck the rest of the way. Hopefully, next week is half as exciting as what we saw tonight. Thanks everyone for listening in.